Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. May the viewer of this video learn more about GYOMEI in this video. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu.
What's poppin', guys? Guy Champion here. And I would be blessed to give you guys a bunch of fun facts about GYOMEI before going into the Infinity Castle arc. Also, I'll be doing a Funko review on the 2 variations of the pop that we have currently available. Timestamps will be in the description below if you want to jump to a certain part of the video. I pray that you will like this video. And if you do, feel free to leave a like or a comment and let me know your thoughts. GYOMEI was a Hot Topic exclusive with a chase variation. For now, we will be discussing the common. It's a pretty nice looking pop. A big thing that this pop has going for it is its proportions. The important aspects of this pop are properly sized and does not look cramped or cluttered. The scar on his head, for example. If it were any larger, it would be distracting. The lettering on his haori is crisp and clean. It also isn't too big or small, it's just right. They made his legs take up almost half of his lower section of the pop, which helps add to his sheer size because he's a giant. The pose accurately represents him, as well as some of the fine details. The addition of the beads was fitting as he uses them when he prays. Then, they did not add pupils to his eyes. Both of these just make the pop that much better. So overall, nothing bad to say about this pop. So I would rate this thing a perfect 10 out of 10. Let's talk about the chase. Initially, something so small and simple as adding tears running down his face takes a $15 pop to around a $70 to $90 one. And that's ridiculous. I paid roughly $75 for it, and the person even gave me a small discount as the box was slightly damaged, and on top of it, we had like a 20+ minute conversation about Demon Slayer and Funkos. So yeah, that was a pretty cool dude. It wasn't until the recording of this video that I realized that this thing was a real work of art. Aesthetically, the tears just look great on this. The shade of blue that they use was perfect, and the addition of the white to make the tears look reflective or sparkling is what really makes it so effective. So, this is an 11 out of 10 for me. This was a rock solid example of how something can be so simple, but so effective. No Shinobu treatment is needed. That concludes the Funko review side of things. So now it's time to do the character breakdown. GYOMEI HIMEJIMA, or as I like to call him, Heebie-Jeebies, the stone Hashira. And no, not a gargoyle. We're gonna start things off on a strong note here. He is the strongest demon slayer in the core. This is briefly touched on by Inosuke, as he is able to tell that he is on a whole nother level compared to everyone else during the Hashira training arc. This is also displayed in the Hashira arm wrestling contest, where he is the top dog sitting at first place. His size helps contribute as he stands at a whopping 7 foot 2.5 inches tall, weighing in at 287 pounds. Kind of felt like I was introducing a boxer into like a ring or something. Future editing me, add a GYOMEI head on a boxer for me. Make me do all this work, you asshole. Okay, yeah, for some stupid reason it would not let me record my Photoshop stuff. So I'll just put an image right here. With his intimidating presence, he's actually a softie. He basically cries at everything. And then, as briefly mentioned in the Meets Recon Roji video, he is also a cat lover. Animals aside, he's a very kind and caring person. We are shown this in the flashback as an orphan. He is with 9 other orphans and helps provide for them, even to the point where he gives them some of his food rations, as he claims it's part of his strict training of not eating. In reality, there probably was not enough food for everyone, so he would rather the others have it instead of himself, which shows a lot about his character. Things seem to be all good and happy, but this was all about to change in the blink of an eye. One night, a demon attacked the temple, leaving only 2 survivors. Or so we thought. Recognize this person? His name is Kaigaku. He was the other person training with Zenitsu under Kuwajima as they were learning thunder breathing. Kaigaku struck a deal with the devil, demon, as it was going to kill him. He proposed that this demon can consume his entire household if he spares his life. So he scurries back to the temple and puts out the wisteria incenses, and then BAM! With all the blood that was shed, the death lingering in the air, something truly monstrous was brought out of the shadows. GYOMEI single-handedly manhandled this demon, beating that demon to a pulp until daybreak, and all that was left was dust in the wind and a shit ton of blood. In the struggle to save his incompetent family. Ooh, that was kind of mean, but truth hurts sometimes. The other kids refused to listen to him, and they ended up getting themselves killed because of this. The only other survivor in the household was Saya, who ended up stabbing him in the back. When the police confronted her about the situation, she told them that it was GYOMEI that did all this. I don't think she meant to say this, as she was pretty traumatized by everything that just happened, but he got sent to jail. With great power comes great responsibility, even if he didn't do it. Just like how so many other American people are sitting in jail right now for being wrongfully accused of crimes. Wow, I'm a little out of hand this video. but it's a real thing though. Look it up. All of a sudden, he is released and reassured that he is no murderer. Ubuyashiki bailed him out and was aware of the demon situation and his raw strength. It was from there he became a demon slayer and eventually a Hashira. He became a user of stone breathing. This breathing style has 5 forms, and I'll go over them briefly. First form, serpentine bipolar. The user throws both the flail and axe at the target and then manipulates the chain to rotate the 2 ends and drill through the target. Second form, upper smash. The user throws both flail and axe at the target for a pincer move before smashing down the chain, causing the flail to rebound and smash the target from afar. Third form, stone skin. A series of slashes with the axe deflecting any incoming attacks. Fourth form, volcanic rock, rapid conquest. Swings both the flail and axe by the chain and strikes with a 2-pronged wide-ranged attack. Fifth form, Arcs of Justice. A powerful barrage with the flail and axe that does massive damage. The axe hits first and then the flail connects second from the opposite side, sandwiching the target. If you're like me, it's hard to visualize these based on the descriptions, so that will be one thing we can really look forward to in the upcoming movies. Have you ever wondered what led him to choose the breathing style and weapon choice? Well, this style suits him as he is strong enough to even wield this heavy weapon. The flail is a solid ball of steel with metal spikes on it. In modern times, we made this into an Olympic sport. It's called hammer throw. These things in college at least are 16 pounds on a wire, and with 3 spins, these things go insanely far. So let's just assume it's a 16-pound flail. Then you add on the thick chain weight too. And lastly, the axe. You get how much strength you would need to wield this weapon, and GYOMEI does this effortlessly. The next point is probably the most important. The sound that the chain makes helps him give a visual of the space that he's working in, as he is blind. So could you imagine him wielding a sword? He'd be swinging that thing at nothing, most likely. GYOMEI didn't just get super strong by normal training methods though. He created his own thing called repetitive action. We were introduced to this concept from Genya when he tried to give some tips to Tanjiro for moving the boulder. Repetitive action maximizes your concentration by doing a predetermined action, like remembering a painful memory or saying a chant. And then from there, you can move a giant ass boulder. Don't try this at home, especially if you're old like me. Probably throw out your back. Speaking of boulder training, this is where GYOMEI confronts Tanjiro and praises him for choosing the lives of the villagers over his sister. Something seems a little familiar here. Boulder training? Tanjiro has done something similar before, but with slicing it. Urokodaki requested that GYOMEI bring him one of the largest boulders he had, so that way he could not send any more children to the final selection, as most of his students have perished. Let's talk about his presence in the Corps, as he has relations with all the top people in the organization. He can be seen as the leader of the Hashiras, as he is not only the strongest, but he is often looked up to for his insight and opinion on important matters, and everybody respects him. He displays this during the Hashira training meeting, as his clap was so monumental that everyone stopped in their tracks and listened to his proposition on the Hashira training regiments. He has close relations with Ubuyashiki, as he is only one of few people that knew of Ubuyashiki's plan to blow up the damn place, and trusted him enough to take on Muzan head on. When all that went down, he was able to successfully behead the creator of all demons, which is mind-blowing. Earlier in the series, we've seen it a few times where if the person is not strong enough, they cannot cut through their necks to behead them. Tanjiro attempting to behead Gyutaro, and then Genya attempting to behead Huntengu. Both failed attempts as they were not strong enough. And here, you have Big Daddy Muzan himself being beheaded by GYOMEI. Yeah, he did have Lady Tamayo restraining him, but the fact that he was even capable of doing so is a strong feat, and is probably the only other time this has ever happened since Ricci cut him down in the past. Some can say his religion adds to his strength as well. The chant Namu Amida Butsu is a Buddhist chant where he is shown praying all the time. In my eyes, religion can move someone just like love can, if motivated enough. He has always been shown being religious and kept himself strong mentally through a lot of hard times. So his mental strength is something to respect as well. Well, that just about wraps up the character breakdown for GYOMEI Himejima, or as I call heebie-jeebies. If you learned something new or liked this video, feel free to like and subscribe. Here is the rest of the Hashira playlist and a video YouTube thinks you will like from my channel. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.